Nobody claps for the grind. Nobody sees the late nights, the breakdowns, the silent war. And that's fine, because once you start winning, they'll care. So until then, keep working. Let silence be your season, and success be your storm. They don't see you right now, and that's fine. Let them scroll past. Let them talk about someone else. Let them think you're not even in the game. You're invisible, for now. But invisibility isn't a curse, it's an advantage. Because while they're watching someone else, while they're clapping for noise, you're building something that doesn't need validation to be real. No one is watching your early mornings, your late nights, your tired hands, your quiet sacrifices. And that's the point. You're not doing it for them. You're not doing it for followers, applause, or praise. You're doing it because something inside you refuses to settle, because something in you still burns, a fire that no spotlight can ignite and no silence can put out. You don't need an audience right now. You need obsession. You need discipline. You need to stay locked in, even when it feels like nobody notices, because that's exactly when it matters most. That's when you separate yourself. That's when you stop needing permission to grow. That's when the seed turns into a storm. It's easy to move when the crowd cheers. It's hard to move when it's just you and the grind. But that's where champions are born, in the invisible hours, in the unnoticed effort, in the part of the journey no one ever posts about. You keep going not because someone's watching. You keep going because quitting isn't an option. They'll act like your silence means nothing's happening. They'll assume your absence means you're losing. But they don't know what you're stacking behind closed doors. They don't know the strength you're building every time you show up despite doubt. And they won't see it until it's too loud to ignore. You have to be okay with being overlooked. You have to be okay with building without applause. Let them sleep on you. Let them laugh, doubt, or forget. Their silence is your space. Their ignorance is your freedom. You don't owe anyone an announcement. You owe yourself a breakthrough. Stay locked in when it's boring. Stay locked in when it's lonely. Stay locked in when the results are slow and the pressure's high, and everything inside you screams to slow down. That's when the breakthrough begins. That's where the shift happens. That's when the world starts to bend in your direction. Every day you show up while they're distracted, that's an edge. Every time you outwork the noise, that's leverage. While they're wasting time chasing hype, you're stacking skill. While they look for shortcuts, you're building a fortress. While they chase being seen, you chase being unstoppable. One day, when the world finally looks your way, they won't see the grind. They'll only see the glory. They'll say you came out of nowhere. They'll think you were lucky, gifted, or chosen. But you'll know the truth. You'll know you earned every inch with sweat and silence, with discipline and fire. You'll know the nights you wanted to quit but didn't. The mornings you wanted to stay down but stood up anyway. That's the win, not the fame, not the recognition, not the likes or shares. The win is knowing you kept going long after everyone else would have quit. The win is knowing you stayed locked in when no one else believed in what you were building. Not even them, sometimes not even you, but you do believe. Somewhere inside, deeper than doubt, louder than fear, there's a voice that says, keep going. And that voice, that's your weapon, that's your guide. That's the only audience that matters. Listen to it, feed it, trust it. Because that voice, is what will carry you through the nights no one sees, all the way to the victory no one can deny. So stay locked in. Stay ruthless. Stay invisible if you have to, because you won't be invisible forever. Keep working like every rep is your legacy. Keep moving like greatness is watching. Let your silence be surgical. Let your discipline be violent. Let your work wake the world up. And when the day comes, and it will when the world finally turns its head, when they hear your name and feel your impact, when they scroll through your success like it came from nowhere, smile, because you know it didn't. You know it came from the shadows. You know it came from the grind they never bothered to look at. They'll see the win, but you'll remember the war. If this lit a fire in you, don't let it die out here. Hit that subscribe button, join the movement, and build with us. Because on this channel, we don't just talk about success, we hunt it. Stay locked in. The world will wake up soon enough. They don't clap for beginnings. They don't cheer for process. They only show up when the spotlight hits, when the crown is visible. But you've got to be okay with building in the dirt first. You've got to be okay with silence, because mastery doesn't come with noise. It comes with sweat, scars, and solitude. Validation comes late. It always does. They won't understand why you keep showing up when no one's watching. They won't get why you sacrifice sleep, comfort, and weekends for something they can't see yet. But that's because they don't feel what you feel. They don't see what you see. This vision, it lives inside you, not them. So stop waiting for approval to move. Stop looking for confirmation to grow. The cheers don't make the champion, the craft does. You want to be great? Then understand this. Mastery demands that you go unnoticed. It demands you keep swinging when no one's clapping. That you keep perfecting the reps no one counts. That you keep failing, learning, adjusting again and again without anyone patting your back. Because true greatness is earned, not awarded. It's not handed out in public. It's forged in private. Do the work they ignore. Study when they sleep. Push when they coast. Because while they're chasing applause, you're chasing sharpness. And when the day comes that they finally see you, it'll be too late for them to catch up. You've got to be obsessed with the craft. You've got to love the process more than the praise. You've got to want to get better more than you want to be seen. That's the price. That's the cost of walking into mastery. Some will laugh at your pace. Some will doubt your silence. Let them. Their need for validation is their ceiling. But your hunger for excellence is your launch pad. You're not here to impress them. You're here to surpass them. The crown doesn't sit on those who begged for attention. It lands on those who earned it through sweat and patience. You don't get it because you're loud. You get it because you were loyal to your growth when no one else was paying attention. You get it because you became undeniable. So earn it in the dirt. Earn it when it's cold, when it's quiet, when it's thankless. That's where kings are made. That's where legends are built. And when you finally rise, not with noise, not with hype, but with presence, they'll realize what you already knew. You never needed their validation. You needed discipline. And you gave it everything. So don't wait for the cheers. Don't wait for the nods or the reposts or the likes. They come later, always later. First comes the isolation. First comes the doubt. First comes the grind that no one believes in but you. And that's exactly where you become unstoppable. Mastery is not a moment, it's a mentality. It's a choice to keep building when there's no stage, no claps, no spotlight. It's a vow you make to yourself that says, I don't stop until I become unshakable. So look in the mirror and ask, am I here to be liked? Or am I here to be legendary? If it's mastery you want, then stop chasing validation and start chasing precision. Build in silence, sharpen in solitude, own your journey. And when it's time, let the world feel the power you built without them. If this message lit something in you, don't let it fade. Subscribe now, join the movement, and keep rising with us. Because here, we don't wait for crowns. We earn them. In silence, in sweat, in full force. They don't tell you this at the start. They don't warn you that the moment you commit, truly commit, to something bigger than yourself, the crowd disappears. The noise dies down. The calls slow. The world keeps spinning, but you feel like you're walking through it alone. But that's not punishment. That's the process. The work is lonely because you're doing what most won't. You're building something most can't even imagine. And that isolation you feel, that quiet, that absence of cheers, support, validation, that's not the sign you're failing. It's the sign you're getting closer. Closer to becoming someone most people never will. Look around. Nobody's coming to carry you. No one's showing up to drag you across the finish line. And that's okay, because this path, it was never meant for crowds. It's meant for the few who are willing to keep moving without applause. The few who don't need eyes on them to stay locked in. The few who have already seen the throne in their mind. And now they're just doing the walk to reach it. Yes, it's lonely, but so is the top. You think greatness has room for a comfort zone? It doesn't. You think the mountaintop has space for everyone who started the climb? It doesn't. Somewhere along the way, the weak turn back. The distracted slow down. The quitters find excuses. But not you. You keep walking. Through the silence. Through the self-doubt. Through the temptation to just take the easy route. You keep walking because you know what's waiting. Don't wish the loneliness away. Embrace it. It's a filter. It's separating you from the average, from the temporary, from the ones who were only here for the hype, not the hardship. Every step you take in silence is one step closer to the roar that comes when you finally arrive. Every hour you spend grinding in the dark is building a version of you so powerful. The world won't believe what you've become. You're not missing out. You're not behind. You're not crazy. You're focused, and that focus has a cost. It costs comfort. It costs company. But in return, it gives you clarity. It gives you strength. It gives you the mindset that says, no matter how far I have to walk alone, I won't stop. There are no shortcuts. There are no fast tracks. There is only you, your discipline, and your vision. So don't pause to look for company. Don't slow down to wait for others to catch up. This throne was built for one, not for a crowd. Some nights you'll sit with your thoughts and wonder if it's all worth it. If this silence will ever turn into sound. And when that doubt creeps in, remember this: the ones who kept going, even when no one believed in them, even when the lights were off, even when the room was empty, those are the ones who changed everything, not because they were lucky, because they stayed locked in. You are not alone because you're failing. You are alone because you're focused. You are not empty. You're becoming full of something the world hasn't seen yet. And when it finally sees what you've built, the silence will have been worth it. Keep walking. Keep climbing. Don't stop. Not now. Not when the air gets thin. Not when your legs ache. Not when your mind tells you to quit. You didn't come this far to turn back. You came this far to rise. And every lonely step you take now is a step that earns your crown. Let them sleep on you. Let them forget your name. Because soon the same ones who ignored your effort will be forced to acknowledge your empire. And when they ask how you did it, you'll smile. Because the truth is, you just kept walking, even when no one was watching. And if this fire hit your soul, don't let it burn out. Subscribe now and walk with us. This path might be lonely, but we walk it together toward greatness, toward legacy, toward the top. You've spent too long trying to explain yourself, too much time laying out your plans, hoping someone would understand, hoping they'd see what you see. But here's the truth: you don't need their understanding. You don't need their approval. You need results. You need outcomes so undeniable, so loud, that even the ones who laughed at you start choking on the silence they gave you. You think words will prove your worth. They won't. Not anymore. You don't need to convince anyone of what you're building. That dream in your chest isn't a democracy, it's a declaration. And declarations don't beg for belief. They make themselves known through action, through evidence, through results that slap the world in the face and say, I told you. This isn't about arrogance. It's about silence that speaks louder than noise. It's about trading arguments for execution, explanations for elevation. Because at the end of the day, nobody remembers what you said you'd do. Remember what you did. So stop trying to be understood. Be undeniable. Don't let them doubt you. Let them laugh. Let them talk. While they're busy running their mouths, you run your game. Stack wins. Build in silence. Train in darkness. And when your moment comes, because it will come, don't say a word. Just show up with results that speak louder than their opinions ever did. You don't need to clap back. You don't need to post proof. You don't need to tell anyone. Watch me. Just win. And let the wind scream. This path you're on, it's not easy. It's not supposed to be. That's what makes the win matter. You're going to hit walls. You're going to fall. People will walk away. People will doubt you. Let them. Let every setback add pressure to your rise. Let every no become fuel for the yes you give yourself. Because the only voice that needs to believe in you is the one inside your own head. And that voice better be loud, clear, and unshakable. Every early morning, every late night, every sacrifice, every lonely hour that nobody sees, stack them like bricks. You're not just chasing a win, you're building one. And when that wall is done, when the results are towering over the people who never thought you could build it, they'll have nothing left to say. You don't need to talk about your grind. Let the grind do the talking. Let your transformation do the explaining. Let your breakthrough be the revenge. Because when you become so good, they can't ignore you. Their silence will be your applause. They don't expect you to win. Good. That's your advantage. Surprise them. Humble them. Destroy their doubts, not with your words, but with your work dot. So from this moment on, make a decision. No more proving, just producing. No more defending, just delivering. No more wasting breath, save it for the finish line. Because when results talk, even the loudest critics go quiet. And if this message woke something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe now. Join the movement. Let's build, rise, and win so loud the world has no choice but to listen. No one's watching. No applause, no spotlight, no good job echoing through your ears, just silence and effort and more silence. This right here is the test, the part nobody tells you about. The lonely road where you either break or become unbreakable. Can you keep going when the motivation dies? Can you move when no one's validating you? Can you wake up and grind with nothing but your vision in your chest and your willpower in your hands? This is where it's forged. Not in the cheers, not in the recognition, but in the unnoticed reps. The early mornings when no one sees. The late nights when your body screams and your mind begs for comfort. The sacrifices you make that nobody will ever understand. This is the cost. This is the moment. This is the becoming dot, and yeah, it hurts. It feels like the world's passing you by while you're stuck in the shadows. You question it, wonder if it's worth it, if anyone will ever care, if this work will ever pay off. But deep down, you know it's not about them. It never was. You're not doing this for the claps. You're doing this because you said you would, because something inside you refuses to quit, because mediocrity would kill you faster than exhaustion. Ever could you want the light? Then earn it in the dark. Earn it when no one believes. Earn it when your only companion is the sound of your own breath and the beat of your relentless heart. The truth is, most people quit here. They wait for validation, for some sign that the struggle matters, but not you. You're different. You don't need a crowd. You just need a cause. And that cause? It's you, your standard, your promise, your fire. Let them forget you. Let them scroll past. Let them doubt. You keep going. Every day, every rep, every step. Because this is the moment. That builds the beast. The one who doesn't just rise when the lights are on, but because they stayed consistent when no one was looking. And when that day comes, when the lights do hit, when the noise finally finds you, you won't just shine. You'll burn. You'll light up everything they thought you couldn't reach. But until then, stay locked in. Stay unseen. Stay building dot, because silence is temporary. But what you're creating, that's forever. And if this fire lit something in you, subscribe now. Be part of a movement that doesn't wait for permission. We don't pause. We don't beg. We build dot. And if you're still here, still breathing, still building, then you're one of us. You don't wait for applause. You don't chase validation. You earn every inch of your rise in the dark dot. So if that fire's real, if you're ready to keep climbing, even when no one's watching, subscribe. Now join the ones who don't stop, the ones who grind quiet and win loud. This is just the beginning. Let's build.